Right, let's see what's up with it then. Okie dokie then. Right, welcome back to another video on the Fenland Biker. Today is a bit of a first for a number of reasons. Firstly, we're doing a repair video on the Virago. I haven't had to repair the Virago since I've got it. I've done a few modifications to it, but this is the first time something's actually sort of gone wrong on it. So it's a bit of a first for that reason. The other is, in that corner, I'm live streaming this. Now, I'm still recording it for a video, editing, yada yada yada, to be done later. But I was laid in bed last night thinking about how I'm going to do this video, and I thought, you know what, why don't I just live stream the whole thing and make a video? Don't know if anyone's going to watch, but, you know, whatever. Give it a try. If it don't really work out, well, never mind, I don't have to do it again. So, bit of background on what's happened to the Virago. Anyone who saw my Winter Solstice ride, link will be in the description, will have seen that something went very badly wrong with the electrics on this bike on the way back. Essentially, half of the buttons, lights, switches on it have stopped working all at the same time. Nearly all are quite safety critical as well. It started, I first noticed the indicators weren't working. Well, to be specific, I noticed the little green light wasn't flashing when I was indicating, and then I just leant forward slightly and I could see that the indicators themselves weren't working. Pulling over to see what had gone on with that, I then noticed that the horn wasn't working, the kickstand cut-off switch wasn't working, the neutral indicator wasn't working, the headlight is still working, and so is main beam, and, quite crucially, the brake light isn't working either. Of course, I didn't know the brake light wasn't working until I got home. On the day, I decided, you know what, I'm not that far from home, I'll carry on and I'll get there. I don't need a neutral indicator to ride safely. If I'd known my brake lights weren't working, I'd have stopped much sooner and got the bike recovered, but never mind. I'm home, I didn't die. That's the important thing. So today's task is to figure out what's caused all of these things to go wrong all at the same time. Because at the moment the bike is unrideable. I can't take it out like this. It's, you know, it's not safe. I mean, no bloody brake lights, Jesus. I'm just going to get punted up the arse, aren't I? And just... Oh, kinky! Well, I'm just going to die. So we need to figure that out, get everything working. I also need to fix the back indicators, because as you can see, one of them fell off and I had to tie it on with a spare USB cable that I had in my pocket at the time. So I need to sort that out. Whether or not that has caused today's issue remains to be seen, but I suppose we'll find out. You'll also notice the saddlebags are gone, so I want to relocate the indicators back to their original spot, which is sort of halfway up here to where that nut and bolt is right now. So that's what we're going to do. Starting point, I've done a bit of research into what could have caused this and read through the manuals, which are around here somewhere. I'm suspecting we've got a blown fuse. Now, there is a fuse box on this bike. It's not that easy to get to. Depending on what source you're reading from, it's either under the seat or under the tank, or the top cover, as the manual calls it. Apparently that's not an actual tank, but never mind. So we need to get those off, find the fuse box, try change the fuse. I would also like to try and find what's caused this fuse to blow. Have we got some damaged wiring somewhere? You know, something like that. It could well be that that indicator is what's caused it, because I had to modify the wiring to relocate the indicators, so when that's fallen off, as that yanked the wiring, caused a short, blown me fuse. Don't know, I suppose I'll find out. So, yeah, without further ado, let's start getting it apart, see what we can find. And, well, there's still nobody on the live stream. Oh, shit. Where's me coffee? There it is. Jeez, there it is. Alright. You can see I'd cancel whole bloody channel if I'd lost my coffee. Jesus. So, seat off first. Let's have... That bit comes straight off. So, here's the fuse box behind door number 1. It is. It's there. Bloody hell, I don't have to take the tank off. Something has gone well. Fucking hell. There we go, there it is. That's the fuse box. I suppose I shouldn't be too surprised. The manual for the bike said it's under the tank for older models, under the seat for newer models. This is a newer model. It's in like the second half of its production, so I suppose I shouldn't be too surprised that it sits there. Yeah, let's pop it out and let's see if any of the fuses are blown, shall we? How is this attached in place so I can get hold of it? I think it should just slide out. There we go. Go, right, so we've got a 30, a 15, a 15, a 15 and another 30 in here. That one's intact. So is that one. That one looks new. That one is blown. There we are. That one is gone. That's a 15. So let's just put a 15 in. See what happens. Let's see. That's a 15. If this works, this is going to be a really short, simple video. Just replace the fucking fuse. Let's give it a try. That's a fuel pump priming. I've got a neutral light on. Indicators are working again. That worked. That's back on. Oh, brake lights. Yep, working on the front. Working on the back. Oh, well, there we go, I fixed it.
The scope of my engineering genius literally knows no bounds.
The real question is though, why did it blow in the first place? Let's try. Choke. 2 fucking degrees today. Go on, you git. Oops. Well, that all seems to be working. Cut out there because I put it in gear with the kickstand down. That all seems alright. So even with the indicator, the brake light on, blaring the horn and everything else, I still can't get the fuse to blow. So why did it blow in the first place? You see, I see stuff like this here, where like the tape has worn. You see the wiring's intact, it's just the tape that's worn slightly. Yeah, there's no damage to the actual wiring. So why did it do what it did? I suppose I should just accept that sometimes fuses just blow. It could well have been when the indicator was hanging off that a wire has shorted out, or it could just be that I was riding it in quite extreme conditions. Lots of water, rain, salt, road dirt. This bike is absolutely fucking filthy. It needs a wash after I get her up and running again. Yeah, why did it do what it did? Maybe the fuse was just old. It does look like an old one. Compare it to the new one I put in, it's all nice and bright and shiny. This could be an original fuse. Is there someone watching? Oh, there is. Swig of coffee, fix the indicators, put it back together, test ride. If it survives the test ride, then I'll just have to be happy with it. Yeah. This video is proudly sponsored by me. That's it. I pay for everything that I do. If you wouldn't mind, subscribe down below. I'd like to get to 1,000 subscribers this year at some point. Really close, but just can't quite seem to get there. So yeah, if you wouldn't mind. There's one downside to live streaming this stuff. I can't do what I normally do and wander off, have a break, make a bacon sandwich. I have to get on with it. Never mind, right. Let's adjust this camera angle for one. So, set that recording. I did. Good. Let's sort these indicators out. Now what's happened here, when I got the bike, no saddlebags, this is how it was. The indicators used to go in here and stick out like that. That's how Yamahas were designed. That's how the Viragos were made out of the factory. I wanted to put saddlebags on that went over here. The problem was the indicators were in the way. Now you could get little ones, but I wanted big ones because I wanted to go touring. So what I did was I moved the indicators to the back, and they mounted at the back of the number plate. I had some little metal brackets that mount on. The indicator itself, the Yamaha designed bit, is fine, but what's happened is the little mounting bracket has sheared. What tended to happen was, with them being at the back, they'd get knocked and they'd get bent and I'd have to straighten them up. Obviously that's weakened the metal, and on the bumpy ass ride that it was for the winter solstice, it's let go and it's just ended up dangling down. Fortunately I didn't lose the indicator completely. It was still working, just hanging by its wiring. But yeah, I was stuck there very early in the morning in Kessingland, which doesn't really have much in the way of amenities anyway. It's literally a tourist destination. It's got like a pub and numerous campsites. I'm stood there trying to figure out how I'm going to make this bike rideable, because I can't ride it with the indicator hanging down there, risking it getting caught in my wheel. This is what I came up with. I happen to have a USB cable in my pocket. I don't quite know why I had this pink USB cable in my pocket, but I did. And I used it to tie it on. But yeah, when I arrived, it was hanging down there like that. It's gotten a little scratched up as the lens, but it should be okay. Yeah, that might clean up. That's the remains of the bracket. That just needs to come off. And I suppose it's possible the damaged wiring could be under here somewhere. Oh, what's that? No, that's just dirt. Yeah, it wasn't on shore like this either. It was originally through a proper gap, but it's all been like yanked through while that's been dangling around. I just noticed there's a little diagram inside. The main 30 amp, head 15 amp, I was guessing it's headlight, which is why that was still working. Signal 15 amp, which explains the indicators and brake lights. And then ignition 15 amp. And then that, oh, that's a spare. Oh, look at that. So someone's already taken the other 15 amp spare out. So maybe there's nothing wrong with it. Maybe it's just the fuse came to the end of its life. What we'll do then, we'll put another 15 amp in there. So now I can say I've got spare fuses. So if this does happen again, I can fix it on the road. So you don't get that with a brand new car, do you? Might have to order a new one of them, because that's fucked. That's the bit that holds the fuse box in place and also contains my spare fuses. I wonder if I can order a new one of them, because that's just old rubber. Figure out a way of securing that down. Yeah, look, that's just coming apart. Joys of an old bike. Okay. Snip off this wiring and see if we can pull that out. Oh, my bloody snip's gone. I swear to God, I'm the only one that ever comes down here. And yet still tools go walkabout. Where the hell are my wire cutters? What the flying fuck? I don't even have anything sharp. That'll do. Right. Yeah, let's have... trim that off there. Leave myself a little bit so I remember the polarity. Not that it matters because it's a normal bulb, but still.
We're confusing the polarity.
Yeah, that's the extension that I had to put in. Right, okay. Let's just get rid of all of this. So, a little bit of wear on this sheath here, but I can't see any actual damage to the wiring. So maybe there hasn't been a short after all. Right, that's back to standard configuration, I suppose you could call it. Right, let's get that bolt undone and get indicator number 1 back in its correct place. Oh, what am I working on? Well, I'm glad you asked. I am fixing the Virago. So, if you saw my winter solstice ride, it blew a fuse on the way back and I lost indicators, neutral indicator, horn, brake lights and kickstand cut off when I was on the way back. So far I've replaced the fuse. Haven't found what caused the fuse to blow. I was expecting to find some damaged wiring, but I haven't found it yet, and everything's working. And at the moment what I'm doing is I'm relocating my indicators, because they were mounted at the back on the number plate, but one of the brackets sheared off and ended up just like rattling around in the wheel while I was riding. But now the saddlebags are gone that used to be here, so I'm putting them back where I found them in the standard configuration. It's a bit of an adventure remembering what I did to relocate the indicators, modifying the wiring, and also trying not to lose all the bloody bolts. But I'm also filming this on my normal cameras, so this will be subject of a regular video. This whole live streaming thing is kind of a new thing for me. I thought I'd give it a try. Is that actually coming undone? No, I'm just spinning the fucking bolt. See, that's where the indicators used to be on this bike, and that's where they're going to be going forward, because I have no plans on replacing the saddlebags that were here. Swig of the old cafe. Nice. Oh. So I thought to say GLG all the best. I'm not sure what GLG means, but thanks anyway. Oh, got to go. Oh, GTG. Oh, I know what that means. Fucking hell, I'm such a millennial, aren't I?
Ha ha, you're old.
Alright, have a good day, fella. Yeah, there we go. That's not going anywhere. Just feel all that straighten up. Oh, that's indicator number 1 in place. To do one bloody nut that holds it on, that was far too much bloody work. One indicator back in its proper place. Only snag is I can't find my ruddy wiring connectors to hook it back up. Where the sodding hell have they gone? So this is a problem with trying to organise your workspace. You forget where everything is. You should just leave it a complete shithole and you'll be fine. Right, coffee. Never mind, I've found them. Don't know if you can see these. Before anyone loses their mind, these aren't ordinary Scotch locks. So I don't want to see any comments about, oh, Scotch locks are so dangerous. No they're not. I've been tinkering on automotive stuff, cars mainly, since I was a teenager, using Scotch locks. I have never set the car on fire. They've always worked. I've never set the house on fire. I've never blown up a petrol station. I've never contracted scurvy or leprosy or any of the other bullshit that people say can happen when you use Scotch locks. Also, these are called jellies. And what they are is they're filled with an amount of silicon sealant. These are used in the telecoms industry mainly for repairing broken cables, telephone cables, broadband cables, that sort of thing. And you put the 2 bits of wire in, and then when you clamp it down, obviously it completes the circuit like a normal Scotch lock would, but then that silicon is pushed out and seals up the hole, and over time that dries solid. And these are designed to be buried in all manner of conditions. You know, they can sit in water for 20-25 years, the life of the cable that you've just repaired. So they are perfectly fine for this application, and there's already a few in use on this bike anyway. Some of them are ones I've put in, some of them were here when I got the bike, so I will hear no complaints about my little wiring connectors. Right, there doesn't seem to be a way to pause a live stream. Mind you, this is only the second live stream I've ever done in my life, so there might be, and I just don't fucking know it. I need some more coffee, so I'll be back in 5 minutes. I need a be right back sign, don't I? Right, I'm back. You know, the plan was to film this as I do a normal video and have the live stream supplementing it. I feel like I'm just doing it all on a live stream now. The other 2 cameras aren't even on. Mind you, the live stream is at just the right angle for what I'm working on, so I don't really need the other cameras. Where's my actual wire snips gone? Where the cock are you? There we go. Swearing at my tools. Whilst I was getting the coffee, I saw that I had an email on the work phone, and it's the daily like customer service roundup. You know, the surveys that companies like to send out to customers to make sure, well, supposedly to make sure that we're doing a good job and providing good customer service. In reality, everyone on the planet knows they're just a stick to beat us with. That's a rant for another day. I had the daily email, and someone has given me a 10 out of 10 and said I was a very amicable person and extremely competent. I've never been competent before. Anyone who watches my fucking YouTube channel will know that. And extremely amicable. That, madam, is called a customer service voice. If you met me on a normal day, If I don't like you, I'll generally call you a cunt. Right. Go on. Crimp down. There we go. So that, if you can see it, is what I mean about these jellies. So I've pushed the two wires in, and when I've crimped it shut, you can see the silicon's just come out at the bottom. Now it's come out a bit far there because this is slightly too thick a gauge wire for these jellies, but they are doing the job just fine. But the stuff that's all still inside will now dry over the course of 24 hours, eventually go to a really hard rubber state like all silicon sealant does, and that's it. That's fully waterproof. That's not going to move. Like I say, these are used in the telecoms industry for one, and among other things, to repair broken cables, and they're good for the life of the cable, which is normally like 20 or 25 years buried underground. So yeah, perfect. Right, let's do the last one. Right, let's make sure it's working. Look at that, flashing away. Not blowing any fuses either. Yeah, it's still going. So now we need to do the second one. See if we can change the angle on the old stream of live. Well, that's not going to go anywhere, is it? Perfect. So you can see just here, that's the bracket that I had on, and it's just all bent up. The indicators just kept getting caught on stuff at the back. Also, the saddlebags would occasionally brush into it. Well, actually no, what would happen was the saddlebags stuck out even further than the indicators, and they'd get caught on stuff and get pushed back and bend up the indicator brackets. That's probably why the other one sheared off. It'd just been bent and straightened out too many times. Never mind, not going to have this problem again. Right, well that is excellent. What are we on? Hour and 34 minutes and I'm more or less done. Live streaming can't be a bad thing because I've got that done in under 2 hours. Just need to pull it back together. I'm happy with how that's gone actually. A little disconcerting that I haven't found what caused the fuse to blow. But then again, given that the spare was missing, it's perhaps not the first time that fuse has blown. Sometimes fuses just blow. But it's all back together and working. The indicators are at slightly different angles, so we can straighten that one up. Yeah, close enough. You won't be able to tell once I put the seat back on. Right, so things outstanding before I close the live stream, because I need to go back inside now. I need a new one of these, which is the strap that holds my little fuse box in place, and also has the spare fuses in it. And then she needs a test ride. Whether or not I do that today, I don't know. I might wait until that strap arrives, actually. Yeah, then I don't have to fuck around taking the seat off again just to put a little rubber strap on. Alright, so anyone who tuned into the live stream, thank you for watching. Let's turn the bike off again. Anyone watching the regular video, I'll see you in a minute when we finish off. Let me see, how does one end a live stream? God, I look fucking old. Jesus, I look rough, don't I? Right. Stop streaming, yes, goodbye. Okay, well, I haven't been able to obtain one of those straps. It looks like they're just not in production anymore. I may be able to get a friend to 3D print me one. I have found a site that's got a 3D printing model, schematic, whatever you call them for 3D printers. But for now, we're just going to button this down and I want to get it tested. You may also notice something a little different about the last part of this video. Right, so what we're going to do is tidy up this wiring with a cable tie, because why the heck not? I could shorten this down, cut out the excess now that the indicator is closer, but I can't be fucked. I kind of want to go out riding and test my new audio setup. Some of you may have noticed already. If not, you will hopefully notice a huge difference when I get out on the bike. I've got my hands on some new microphones at long last. Finally found a set that are decent and aren't stupid money. They are a pair of DJI Minis. They were a birthday present. They didn't cost me anything, but they cost £45, and in it you get 2 microphones and a receiver, which is currently plugged into my phone. That allows you to use it as an external mic. You can connect the microphones, the little lapel microphones here, directly to a device such as a phone or a camera. They come with all sorts of things. They come with the dead cats, which are removable. They come with magnetic attachments, which are really strong. You get everything you could possibly need in the box, unless you're an Apple user. They don't come with a lightning adapter, but that's what you get for being an Apple user. But a bit of playing around, so far they seem brilliant. This is the first actual bit of video for YouTube that I've recorded with them, and it seems really good. And you can run both at the same time, so if you've got 2 people talking on one camera, the receiver merges them into one audio track. Well, it's 2 because it's stereo, but yeah. So far really good. And they have things like anti-clipping, automatic gain adjustment, etc, etc. And they come highly recommended for moto vlogging, so I should be able to put these in my helmet and talk to you without it sounding as shite as it has been in the past. I'm also going to try and put the second mic somewhere in or on the bike so that you can hear what the bike's doing at the same time as I'm talking. So you should get some really great audio now. Really hope so, because I don't know what I'm going to do if this doesn't work. I need another cable tie. Bollocks. I'm just going to use a cable tie to hold the fuse box in place for now, which is pretty much what the strap was doing. And if and when I'm able to obtain one of those straps, then I can fit it, but for now this will have to do. It moves a little, but it's not going to come out. Once the seat's on top, that won't go anywhere. Good. And the spare fuses, I'm just going to keep in this little box. Keep my earplugs in there as well. Can't remember where this came from. I think it might have been one of those emergency sewing kits. Never mind. That can go there, and that can live in the top box when I find the key for it. Right, the seat. Just noticed there's still fucking sand in the creases of the leather on the seat from my winter solstice ride. Sand really does get fucking everywhere, doesn't it? Right, pillion. Right. Let's wheel her out and see how she does and see how these microphones do. Could this be the day that I actually get some proper motor vlogging done? Chance would be a fine thing, wouldn't it? Right. Right, I suppose, do I sync them up now, like Teapot One does? Does that go? Yeah, I guess so. I'll let this car go past. Right, let's do a cafe run, shall we? Camera on, hopefully at the right angle. A little trip to Walker's for some breakfast, because I am starving. Come on, go into third, you git. Alright, well, I guess we'll just stay in second for now then. I got my brand new riding boots on, got them for Christmas. First time I've actually worn them on the bike. They're lovely and comfy, nice and warm, but a bit numb. I need breaking in. Oh, I love the noise of this bike. Oh, I'm going to have the visor open slightly though. So, hopefully this footage is usable. We have the Acaso V50X. Go into gear, you twat. There we go. Need to get used to these boots. We've got the Acaso V50X on the chin mount. I've modified the mount so it's at a better angle, hopefully actually capturing some of the road. And we have the DJI Mini in the helmet. There isn't really a void or a space for microphones on this helmet. My options are put it right under my chin where it's going to catch a lot of wind noise, or clip it to the helmet strap where there is a little bit of a void there where the strap sort of comes through the padding, and it's just a little bit too small for the microphone, but you can just sort of cram it in. So the microphone is sort of towards the back of my jaw. I can just feel it ever so slightly around my molars or where my wisdom teeth would be. It's perfectly comfortable. I'm aware it's there, but it's like I'm aware that I'm wearing a helmet. It's not a problem. It feels normal. Steaming up badly in this cold weather. So yeah, really hoping that you're watching this and it's usable and decent quality, because if not, I really don't know what to do. I can't just keep throwing money at it because it's getting more and more expensive. I don't earn anything from YouTube, and I do have other commitments like a mortgage. Bike really needs a wash. If it has worked, at the moment the setup with the microphone, obviously microphone in the helmet, the transmitter as DJI call it. Receiver is plugged into the USB port on my phone, which is in my leg bag, and I've set the gain on the receiver to -6. Although from the product description it shouldn't matter what the gain's at, because that's supposed to be automatic anyway, which makes me wonder why it's both automatic and manual. I don't know, maybe if you're a qualified sound engineer that makes sense. But then again, if you're a qualified sound engineer, you're probably not using 45 quid DJI Minis. You're probably using something that costs more than my car. There we go. It's all this shite in the road. It's actual shite. Fucking horses. Now, without turning this into a rant about the behaviour of cyclists on the road, what I will say is horse riders are worse. They are much worse. That's a rant for another day. Today is just a sound test. And a bike test, I suppose. See, well, the indicators are still working. Oh, good. That's a good sign. Steaming up again. Oh, I do love the low end grunt of this bike though. That like, you can tell Yamaha designed this to be a, well, I was going to say a Harley killer, but I think that's a bit ambitious. But it's definitely a direct competitor, wasn't it? The story of how the Virago came to be is really quite interesting. One day maybe I'll make a video about it. Right. Pop the lid up as we slow down. Getting really quite misted up again. It's wet and grotty. It has been for like a week. We did have one lovely sunny afternoon where the roads were dry, and then the battery was flat on the bike because I haven't ridden it in over a month. So I missed out. So this is as good as we're going to get. Reasonably mild temperature. Overcast, roads are damp, and because of the time of year and where I live in the fens, they're muddy and greasy. But at least it's not raining. At least I'm not really cold. At the time of filming this segment, it's now mid-February, if you can call it that. It's like the 10th, I think. I can't remember what day it is. And to say spring is, well, next month-ish, we've had a really mild winter. We've had maybe 1 or 2 days where it's been below freezing. Other than that, it's been really good. Oh, I wonder what they're doing with the old bird in hand. Probably just going to knock it down. So, let's be positive. This is working. This video segment is working. And you're getting lots of great footage and lots of great sound. You can hear the engine noise. Don't go into the back of the Tesco van, Stuart. Fucking hell. Yeah, anyway, let's be positive. You're hearing this. This is the sort of content I want to be making. Going on rides, having a good old natter. Don't know what I'm going to natter about. As with all my videos, I pretty much make it up as I go along. Been on a few training courses at work. Find myself looking a lot at telegraph poles now. These are what we call joint user poles. The arrangement of the cables is also interesting. Could natter about that. Then you probably all unsubscribe. We could talk about RAF Mildenhall, which is to my right. We're going past the main entrance. Or I could just make silly noises. That'll be a good test of the microphones. How did that sound? Right, and oh look, indicators are still working. Oh, which means that fuse is still holding. Let's just slow it down here. We shall follow you, my good man. The amount of fucking gravel that's here. At least they've fixed that fucking crater of a pothole. Yeah, we're going past the end of the runway for RAF Mildenhall. I have been on that base several times. It's pretty cool inside. I've been on RAF Lakenheath probably just as many times as well. That's even cooler. Probably the coolest thing about RAF Mildenhall though is there's a road that goes right round the perimeter, so you can basically just give yourself a tour of the base. And there's one point where you come up to some traffic lights, and obviously if they're red you have to stop, but it's not cars that are going across the road, it'll be a fucking aircraft. You'll just see this huge like refueling tanker, you know, just like give you a wave and the lights go green and you carry on. Let's go through here. Sticking to the speed limit now that I'm a vlogger and I am vlogging. I can hear Bruce Rivers saying, "Don't record your crimes." Oh no, Legal Eagle says that. Bruce Rivers just says, "Stop self-snitching." What's this? Oh, it's just a regular crossing. I thought, oh no, we have picked up some roadworks. Why? You know what? I can't be asked to filter. But yeah, things I can talk about. I suppose I could talk about current events, couldn't I? That could be a bit boring as well. Also, it might turn into a bit of a rant. The plan for this coming year is to do ride outs. I'm pretty much not gonna have a big adventure this year. Last year I did the NC 500, as you probably saw. Indicator's still working, good. This year I'm probably gonna do a series of day trips and obviously record them as I go. I got a few pretty interesting ones lined up. Interesting places I can talk about. I think we'll do that. Okay, you take that. Don't get back in your lane. You stay there, van. Thank you. I'll give you a thanks. Cheers. Right. Just slow down here. Oh, I'm definitely a bit wooden on this bike. I just do not feel as comfortable as I did on the winter solstice ride. We're nearly there though. Going to Walker's. It's a roadside cafe. For all intents and purposes, it's a biker cafe because, well, it's always chock full of bikes. Well, it probably won't be today. I'd say it's probably my second favourite cafe in the local area, but all my mates seem to love it more than my actual favourite, so I find myself going here more. Whatever. My favourite is Angel's in Mildenhall. Breakfast burrito with some Cholula hot sauce. Fucking gorgeous. This place does do a good full English though. I think I shall have breakfast box number 3. Let's go through here. Indicator's still working. Good. Let's get through here, shall we? there's two other bikes, one of which is just leaving. Never mind. Right, we shall go. Whoop. Looks like my mate isn't here yet. That's his idea. I thought I was the one that was running behind. Let's get some food. Yeah, then I'll record the ride home. Right. Well, that was a bit of a cock-up. You may have noticed I'm in a different location. When I was riding over, I was saying how much I prefer angels to walkers. He'd gone to angels instead. Never mind. Although, whilst we've been having our breakfast burritos, breakfast of champions, it's brightened up. It's quite a nice day now. We're going to have a bit of a jolly home. Yeah, I'll have that, thank you. Yeah, if you're ever out this way near Mildenhall, Angel's Cafe, fucking brilliant place. It's never not busy there as well. Walker's, being a biker cafe, is pretty quiet through the winter, as you saw when I got there. Angels, however, busy all year round. I remember the first day they reopened after the pandemic, and they were rammed. Everybody couldn't wait to get back. Question is, do I go straight home or do I go for a bit of a jolly? I do like that bike that he's on, Triumph Scrambler. I think it's a 900. Don't know how good it'd be for touring. I like my adventures. A lot of this to my left as well is also RAF Mildenhall, and that is what's known there as the Beck Row Gate. You can only enter that way on foot. It's one way for vehicles. And this here used to be a pub called the Bird in Hand, very popular. Then one day Green King, the brewery, just shut it down without warning and sold the site. And it was going to go to some housing developers, because everything does nowadays, doesn't it? Every scrap of land gets some shitty new builds put on it, and people were really annoyed at that. And then the MOD stepped in, made a compulsory purchase, and it's sat all boarded up for a couple of years, and they finally started doing stuff with it. They've taken all the trees out. Nobody knows what their plans are. They're likely going to extend the fencing and make it part of the base. Now, whether they flatten it and just have it as empty land or put a new building on it, I think a lot of people were hoping that they would restart the pub. Because when you go on the base, it's not all military. There's like bars and nightclubs and such like on there, and it's all quite good. A lot of people were hoping they'd save it, but it doesn't look like they're gonna. I think they're gonna flatten it, and I mean, it could just be that they didn't want a housing estate literally outside their door. I mean, if I was running a military base, I wouldn't want that. Let's go! Last time me and John did this, I overtook him, which is always hilarious when I overtake people on this, because it's a really underpowered bike. He let me have my fun and then he came roaring past, but you know, it was fun while it lasted. Yeah, roads are drying out quite nicely. Yeah, that feels good in that turn. Let's give it some. Oh, I can't decide, do I go home or do I keep riding? Oh, what to do, what to do? I've got nowhere to go. I think me and John are the only bikers out today, apart from the dickhead pulling wheelies outside the cafe. Oh, I love the noise of this thing. We were both discussing we really want to get out more. I haven't been out in a month and a half, he hasn't been out in a month. Every day it's either really bad weather or there's something we have to do or we just haven't got the energy. Yesterday I didn't wake up until 11:30. I got up, cleaned the house for a bit, sat down at about 1:30 to have a cup of tea, and then woke up again at 6, and then I made dinner, and I was falling asleep at the dinner table. What the hell was up with me yesterday? I was sleeping for like 20 hours. I'm not even going that fast. I really wish I had a camera on my face. I've just got a big shit-eating grin on my face all the time when I'm on a bike. It just is the best sensation in the world. Here we go, we're on the stand. Trying not to get too carried away. Right. Let's go, people, let's go. You watch, I'll get home and find I've got perfect audio, but there's a big lump of mud on the camera lens. Can't fucking win. I think, given that this was supposed to be a test... Nope, we're slowing down. I think given that this was supposed to be a test, I will go home. Yeah, I think we'll do that. So, hopefully, you've enjoyed this new audio, and we've got some decent quality video. He's giving me a wave. Yeah, hopefully. And hopefully this is the start of good things to come. Hopefully I get to do some proper moto vlogging. Oh, Jesus. That would be really cool. So yeah, the Virago is still working great. She needs a really good clean before the new season, but she's 100% functional again. My Life and King, my little 125, is in bits at the moment, but she's hopefully going to be back on the road very soon. And yeah, big things coming, hopefully anyway. Right, thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching The Fenland Biker. Please don't forget to press the big button here in the middle to subscribe if you haven't already done so. If you liked what you just saw, please click the like button below and leave a comment letting me know what you liked about it. And as always, thank you for watching.